Okay. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I'm so happy to see you all. Thanks for coming to celebrate my birthday with me, and also Shabbat, too. Both equally important. Thank you for your patience as we, at home, as we got all the technical issues squared away. Thank you, Gian. I'm so glad we get to be together to use the new speaker system again. It's so wonderful. Thanks everyone for joining us. We're gonna continue with lighting the candles. So I'm gonna light them, and then will you all say the blessing with me? We are on page 9. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlikner shel Shabbos. We made it. We're going to continue with Shalom Aleichem, which you will find on page 10. Whichever one you want. You want to do that one? Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem. Malachei Hashem. Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu V'lachem L'Shalom Malachei Hashalom Malachei Elyon Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Barchuni leshalom, melechei hashalom, malechei elyon. Mi melech malechei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitzchem leshalom, malechei hashalom, malechei elyon. Mi melech malechei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Let's continue with Lecha Dodi, which you will find on page 14. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Yishmi'anu el ha'meyuchad, Adonai echad Yishmo echad, L'shemo tiferet v'litchila la la la, Lecha Dodi nikra kala, B'nei b'nei shava nekabela, Lecha Dodi nikra kala, B'nei b'nei shava nekabela. Hitzoreri, Kiva orech umiori, uriori shitaveri, Kavod Adonai alach la 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 la, Lecha Dodi nikra kala, B'nei b'nei shava nekabela, Lecha Dodi nikra kala, B'nei b'nei shava nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, Gam b'simcha u'b'tzola, Tov emunai am segula, Boi chala, Lecha Dodi likra kala, B'nei shava nekabela, Lecha Dodi likra kala, B'nei shava nekabela. One of the greatest parts of Shabbat is the Kabbalat, the welcoming. There's also, we talk about Kabbalat Panim, the welcoming of faces, which is what that literally translates to. But it really, at a wedding, there's this whole celebration in which the two spouses, soon-to-be spouses, will meet and see each other and enjoy like singing, like oftentimes one group will dance towards the other group. It's a lovely, wonderful tradition of welcoming. So it always feels lovely to be able to welcome Shabbat in that same way with song and joy. So thank you for doing that with me. We're going to continue with Chatzi Kaddish, which is on page 17, our transitional prayer full of gratitude. Yitgadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divarach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'chayedechu Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala u'vizman kariv, Ve'imeru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach, Le'olam u'lam me'amaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach, V'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, Vitadar, Vitale, Vitalo, Shemede Kudisha Barihu, Le'ela min Kol Berchata V'Shirata, Tushvechata V'Nechemata, Ta'amiran Be'oma, Ve'imeru, Amen. I invite you to rise either in body, in posture, and or in spirit as we join together for the Baruch Hu on page 18. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Please be seated. We are going to continue with Ahavat Olam, which you will find on page 20. Ahavat Olam is our prayer about the unending God, the unending love and unending God, I guess those both work, unending love that God has for us. And then in a moment, we'll pray the V'ahavta, which is about the unending love that we have for God. Ahavat Olam. Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu lemadata, Otanu lemadata. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu v'shachnu, Kumeinu nasiach b'chukacha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratacha, v'mitzvotecha le'olam. Yichem hayenu, ve'orat yameinu, uvaham negeh yomam v'layla, negeh yomam v'layla. Ve'ahavatcha al tasir, mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael, ohev amo Yisrael. As we make our way towards the Shema, I'm going to invite you to do what I invite many on Sunday mornings. I talk about this. Some people are awake and some people are half awake, so that's fine. Really, I get it. About how Shema is one of the prayers that we try to embody People do that by covering their eyes or closing them or putting a shin on their foreheads or something else that allows them to connect with the words and the oneness of the universe and themselves and everything all at once, that our ancestors have been saying for generations. So will you join me? Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. We continue on the top of page 25. מי כמוך. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נעת בקודש, תורת תהילתו עושה פלא, תורת תהילתו עושה פלא. מלאכותך ראו בנחה בוקר, למשה וים, זה אלינו ואמרו, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני As we move throughout our week, we any moment that we get a chance to stop and take a breath feels like tiny Shabbat to me. Just like a moment of like, but I often forget that that's a tool that I can use. I don't know about you. I'm breathing all the time, thank God. That's how it works. but like I forget that I can stop and use that breath as a way to bring some calm and order and peace to my life. So that's sort of how I look at this next prayer at Hashkivenu. This prayer that we're praying for a shelter of peace. It feels like a breath to me. A Sukkot Shalom, which exists always, and specifically in this context, that we could carry that peace from Shema with us throughout the day, the evening. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu lechaim. Oh, guide my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. So rock me in your arms and guide my steps. And let me make this day a song of praise to you. So rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu lechaim. We are now going to turn to page 51 and rise in whatever way you're doing so for the Amidah. As we start the Amidah, I invite you to think about what intention this prayer has for you, how you're going to connect, what the words might mean, or what other prayers you might need to say at this moment. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agitehi atecha. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Bekonei Hakol, Bezocher Chastei Avod V'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'nei Lema'an Shemo Ve'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mehayei Hakol atah Rab leHoshia. Mechakel Chaim bechesed, Mehayei Hakol berachamim rabim. Somach noflim berofei cholim. Umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, lishanei afar, michamocha ba'al gevurot, umido melech, melech memit umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua. V'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalu chasela, Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. I invite you to be seated. We're going to continue with Vishamru on page 55 at the bottom. The fun one. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. Ve'ni uven b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, oti le'olam. Ve'shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. Now I'm going to take a moment for some silent prayer and meditation. There are many more blessings of the Amidah to be said on the next several pages. If you want to follow along, if you want to stand, if you want to sit, and if you just want to say the prayers of your heart or take some deep breaths, I invite you to do whatever you need to do at this moment. Adonai Tzorech, Adonai Tzorech, Ve'go'ali, Ve'go'ali. So, thank you again for being here. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. This week, the Torah portion is Vayikra, which is the beginning of the book of Leviticus. We finished Exodus, now we're into Leviticus. But don't worry, we'll revisit Exodus in 2 weeks, so nobody panic, in case you weren't sure what the story was. We'll talk about it again. Leviticus, some of us have our B'nai Mitzvah Torah portions up in there. So I'm glad to see both of you here this evening. Lovely. But Vayikra is really interesting because the word Vayikra means and God, like and he called, which, you know, the Latin names that we, like the English Latin names that we use for the books of the Torah don't exactly line up. They're more like describing what's so this is in this book we have all the rules for the Levites, Leviticus, less related to the Hebrew name, but still. But the Hebrew is really interesting. It is written Vayikra with a tiny aleph at the end of the word. So Vayikra, it is spelled Vav. Oh goodness, it's hard to do without looking at it. Vav, Va, Yud, Resh, Kuf, Aleph. Vayikra. And the aleph, it's when it's written like that, it's normally written in the Torah normally. But this word, the first word of this book, is written normally with a tiny aleph. And there's a million, of course, when there's any discrepancy in the Torah, the rabbis are like, oh, let me tell you why. Here's my opinion. So I'm going to tell you why. Here's my opinion. There is a teaching, and I think it comes from Rabbi Larry Hoffman, and maybe before him somebody else, that when God was about to speak and utter the 10 commandments or utterances or whatever you want to call them, the first word of that is Anochi, I am, Anochi Adonai. And before that aleph came out of God's mouth, the teaching says that the people heard the breath beforehand, or they heard the absence of noise before that aleph. And if you're a Hebrew studier, and if you're not, I'm going to tell you, aleph on its own doesn't carry a sound. You have to put a vowel with it in order for it to work. So the idea, this teaching says that aleph was like the first sound that the people ever heard from God, which is silence or breath or something. And so when I read this book and I look at this tiny aleph, it reminds me of that story and the idea that the way that we connect often is through silence. So this book is full of rules, as both Macy and Han can tell you. There's a lot of good ones and some not as good ones, some that we don't like, some that we think are fine, but we don't understand why they're still there. And this tiny aleph reminds me why this book is important too. Because Leviticus is often one that's easy to skip. There's not as much story in it. It's not true, but that's you might think one could assume that. This tiny aleph reminds me that it's all of the words and all of the silences that we're listening for, that we're being called to hear. So another tradition is that often is in when it's your birthday, you are supposed to bless others. So here's my blessing for all of you. May you find whatever it is you need in the silence. May you listen for the small and the big sounds. May you connect to the universe, to others, to God, in whatever way is best for you. And may you find that breath within yourself wholly. Shabbat shalom, everybody. That's my favorite tradition, is to offer birthday blessings from me to you. I learned that when I was living in Israel. I'd never heard of that before. And then somebody was like, oh, it's your birthday. Will you give me a blessing? I was like, what a weird question, but okay. And now it's my birthday and I stand up here, so I do it. Speaking of blessings, let's turn our thoughts now to the people in our lives, in our world, who are in need of the blessing of healing of body and of mind and of spirit. We are thinking this evening of Stephanie Huge, Shay Bukema, Larry Littman, Ted Golden, Richard Koski, Joe Koski, Lex Baum-Beslov, Mickey Berg, Sharon Burns, and Mike Ingber. If there's anybody else you are thinking of this evening whose name you'd like to share with our community, I invite you to either rise or raise your hand as I come around the room, and we'll hear those names together.
Anna Siegel, Jerry, and Brett. Jeff Kanikowski.
Summer Marcus, Rosie Richard, our family, Jim Casper. That's the rest.
Page 67. May the source of strength who blessed the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. Before we conclude with Aleinu, I am, Damon, are you doing announcements this evening? Wonderful. I'd like to invite Damon forward to do the announcements. Damon is a member of our Board of Trustees. While he's coming up, I want to thank him for doing all the host trustee duties. And Patty, thank you for helping setting up. And Jan, as always. And Keith, thank you for the music. Here, this for you.
Why, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Giving me gifts for your birthday.
It's not really a gift. It's a long piece of paper.
Well, thank you.
Everybody hold on.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Thank you, Rabbi Elisha, for sponsoring tonight's pre-nag in celebration of your birthday. Happy birthday, which I think we've said before, but we're happy to say many more times this evening.
Thank you.
There's 1 week left to register for our second night of Passover Seder at Shir Tikva on Thursday, April 6th. It is a fun, family-friendly event, great for all ages. Our doors are going to open up at 5 p.m. and our Seder will begin promptly at 5:30 p.m. Registration is open at shirtikva.org and due by this Thursday, March 30th. On Saturday, April 22nd, the membership committee will be presenting a fantastic evening of laughs and fundraising for Shir Tikva with Rabbi Arnie's comedy show. We'll have a delightful silent auction full of unique items to bid on and lots of delicious food. Register today at shirtikva.org. Silent auction items are still being accepted. Check your e-blast for details and how you can help contribute. Save the date for our Kesher Earth Day, Shabbat, and Supper and Shmooze on Friday, April 14th. CST 7th grader Macy Driscoll, chosen has chosen an eclectic mix of activities for her mitzvah project and is raising money to supply party items for homeless children and needed items on wish lists for designated animal rescues. Contact her mom, Stephanie Apple, with questions. The Positive Action Campaign is the beneficiary of our Spring Bulb fundraiser. Order beautiful bulbs and help animals in need. More info can be found at shirtikva.org. Have you been joining us either in person or virtually for Shabbat services and are interested in membership or religious school? Please contact our Executive Director, Lorelei Berg, at info@shirtikva.org with questions or to learn more. Thank you.
David? Oh, thanks. Macy, this is awesome. I'm glad. Macy's over there. If you want to ask her about her Give Me the Chasadim project, you could ask her. She'll tell you about it. And that's her mom next to her, who you could ask for more information. Passover, second night Seder, Harris's are coming. So if that's an incentive to come here and figure out how I turn out this way, if you want to meet my mom and dad, you may that evening. So, and maybe my brother, who knows? We're going to join together on page 70 for Aleinu. Lily and Hannah and Macy, will you come open the ark with me, please? Everybody, please rise. Yeah, good work. Okay, go. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'tet gedula le'yotzer b'reshit, shelo asanu k'goyei ha'aratzot, ve'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kachem, ve'or aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu parim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei malach, malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad.
Thank you all. Yasher Koach to you all. Yasher Koach. Thank you all so much.
I am on page 77. When time and circumstances take loved ones from us, let us fill the emptiness with memories. Memories are the healing heart's way of saying, I won't forget. This evening, our hearts go out to Dorothy Halprin on the passing of her dear friend, Jackie Sherman. We are in a period of Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning for Leah Grimes, the mother of Elaine Zold, mother-in-law of Matt Perkins, and grandmother of Naomi and Elliot Perkins. This week, we also recall the yard sites, the anniversaries of the deaths of Hester Zahorek, mother of Chris Zahorek, Harry Starr, father of James Starr, Helen Starr, mother of James Starr, Sanford Porvin, father of Deborah Randa, Shirley Hess, mother of Heidi Hirsch, and Rowena Platt, mother of Phyllis Wenig. If there's anybody else you are remembering this evening whose name you'd like to share with our community, I invite you to do so. We rise and join together. You're on page 78. Yitgadal v'kadash shemei Rabbah. Be'alma divara chirute v'yamlich malchute. V'chayechon uvyamechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal. Shemei dekudesha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Ta'amiran be'alma v'yimru. Amen. Ose shel Yehesh Mama Rabba min Shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. Ose shalom b'mamav huya aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. May the source of peace bring peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved here and everywhere. To which we say, Amen. I invite you to be seated. We are going to conclude with, we did not talk about this, but we're going to conclude with Odia Vo. Does that sound okay to you?
Yeah.
Great.
We just had to do a little brain switch there. So
Yeah, no problem. It's a surprise.
I just remember what key we do it in.
Okay. Odia Vo Shalom Aleinu. Odia Vo Shalom, page 83 if you want it. Odia Vo Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al kulam. Odia Vo Shalom Aleinu. Odia Vo Shalom Aleinu. Odia Vo Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam. Shalom. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam. Shalom. Odia Vo Shalom Aleinu. Odia Vo Shalom Aleinu. Odia Vo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Odia Vo Shalom Aleinu. Odia Vo Shalom Aleinu. Odia Vo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Thank you, Keith. So
Hang on. How
what?
about this?
Oh no.
Let's do this.
Thank you very much. Thank you, friends. Thanks. That's nice. I've got a bright red. Okay, so in celebration of said birthday, we're gonna do the normally after a short and sweet we don't do the kiddush. We've already had our little nosh beforehand, but I brought a little various alcoholic and non-alcoholic bubbly drink. So if you would like to stay afterwards and have a little toast with me, so let's do the kiddush now, and then we'll do that. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, barei peri hagafen l'chaim. Oh, this is exciting. Is this a new one, Jam? Oh, I haven't seen this one in a while. As you all know, one of my favorite parts of my job is the showing off of the first and second grade challah covers. This looks like Moses. Oh yeah, I remember this one. Maybe Jacob over there, Noah, and a rainbow. So let's have a little Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom, everybody. May it be a restful one. Let's will you join me for a drink? Thanks. Thanks for joining us from home. Sorry for the tech difficulties. We're glad you're here. Bye. Shabbat shalom.